score? I can't see the score.
Rick, just want to get your overall thoughts on impressions on Jordan, Bowden, and Lamonte's performance tonight.
Well, again, those guys are guys we count on, and I thought they were playing hard, but between the two of them, they had 10 turnovers and trying to do a little bit too much. And but a couple of them, the passes, again, not playing off 2 feet, but a couple turnovers are sometimes given to guys that because it hits their hands and they lose the ball where they're really bad passes, and I would give them to other players. But those two guys have worked as hard as anybody since we've been here, and we need them to have big years, and they're going to do their part. And but overall, other than the turnovers, I would say that happy with their effort and what they're trying to get done.
Steve, you talked about needing more from Fulkerson this year, double tonight. Just what you saw from him tonight, what you see from the preseason.
Well, we need that. He had a chance to score. He missed 3 bunnies right around the rim where he didn't get up. I think he took it for granted. That happens too much with him sometime. But the fact is, we need him to rebound, and we need that. We need Eve to give us that kind of performance too. But overall, we've talked to him about it, and tonight was one of those situations where it's only the second time. It's really the first time that we've had our whole team together, because in the Davison scrimmage, Josiah didn't play, Tickett didn't play, obviously Urosh didn't play, and so this was the first time we've all been together. And but with that said, I was surprised a little bit with the nerves with all of them at the start of the game, but we weren't executing. We were just playing with no purpose. But we need Fulke, like all these guys that are new, to understand there's different roles for the guys coming back. He's in a different role where he's going to be counted on to do what he did tonight. He's going to be game planned for differently, and so but we need him to be consistent.
Josiah came off the bench. Is that just a reflection of him missing time, and how did you think he played?
You know what, Rob? I think he did okay. I mean, he really, it's really the first time that he's been out there with Lamonte and Bowden, because we can't really do that much in practice. And this is the most he's played in 6 weeks, what he did tonight. He hasn't done it. He hasn't been through a full practice in 6 weeks. And he's a really hard worker. He's very conscientious. He wants to do the right thing, but he just needs to play his way back in shape. That's why we're trying to get as many minutes as we could with those guys on the court tonight, because they're going to be out there a lot together. And but yeah, he did really, again, for his lack of practice, I think he did a pretty good job.
On the rest of the freshmen, what were your impressions of them, and what was the deal with Drew Pember there at the end?
He turned his ankle. He did. He definitely came down on someone's ankle. I saw that. But again, we had him out there, and we actually put him out there a couple times more freshmen than we normally would, because we wanted to see if they could work through some situations, and they did. What they have to do, what the freshmen have to understand, is this different than anything they've done. And emotionally, like Tickett, the start of the game, he's only been back in practice about a week, but he's been very good in practice tonight. I told him he got out of character and started doing things where he was just too emotionally involved and not really thinking the game. Olivier was the same thing. He didn't execute very well. Every time he got the ball, he was too quick to play, put it down. And we're a team that we play off the pass. We do that a lot. That's why we end up with a lot of assists. You had 2 different styles tonight. You had one team that was playing through the pass, another team just dribbled, trying to create that way. But overall, I thought the freshmen tried to defend when it's people putting their head down, just coming at you, and because we still wanted to work on trying to stay with our coverage as much as we could. And but overall, again, I think there's a ton of mistakes, a ton of things we'll learn from. But I do think they were really trying to do the right thing.
Coach, tonight they scored 107 points. Last year, the record in terms of scoring was 106. How positive do you see the first game of the season? They're already scoring ton of points like tonight.
Well, we want to run. We want to be in that attack mode, and we missed some shots tonight. I do think we have the ability to make some threes, and we missed a lot of wide open shots, but that's part of it too, the tempo of the game and guys getting settled in. But Yeah, and I told him, I said, we scored 105 points, we turned it over 18 times. And I'm not taking anything away from our opponent at all, but I don't think all those were forced. Some of it was where we tried to enter our pass. You can't enter halfway across the court and those type things, but those are things we'll fix, and it'll be good for us. Trace Sigler, the coach, was one of my former managers years ago at Texas, and it was neat watching him run some things that we still run, and he's one of the finest people that I've ever met. I don't think he's ever had a bad day in his life, and I know he was so excited to bring his team here, and I like the fact that they competed. I mean, they went out and he had them. I knew they would play hard because a year ago he went into El Paso against one of our former assistants and played them tough, and we knew they would play like that, and we knew that we needed this kind of game with guys being very aggressive and off the bounce and also trying to deny a lot of passes.
Rick, I know you've been here before as a coach, but how different is it going from a bunch where you kind of knew more or less what to expect from most guys to going back into a mode where, maybe more than half the team on a daily basis, you don't know what you're going to get?
Yeah, it's different. It is. And what you just said is just that. Right now, this early in the season, you don't know what you're going to get. It's going to get down to players convincing us that we can trust them. And that will determine how many guys we play, how deep we go. But it's different. A year ago here, we knew pretty much how it was going to play out. I don't right now. I really don't. We're going to wait and see who settles in to do the jobs and play the roles that we need them to play. But I do like the young guys are really trying, and they're going to find out they're going to have to try even harder. But we'll see as we move forward.
Finish up with Troy, Gene, and then Lewis.
Rick, I guess all of that is, do you feel like you have a reliable third option behind Lamonte and Jordan? And if not, how long do you think it would take you?
I do think so, but I think we think we do. It's a matter of getting them to think that we do, and I'm not sure it's just one guy. I mean, Folky's a guy that we think can score. I mean, we've watched him do it before in some high-level games, but he's got so we know he can do it. And we didn't do everything that we will do moving forward, but there's some things that we'll do differently. But he's capable of doing it, and then we need the other guys to fill in and play the roles that we need him to play. But he's certainly capable of doing that. Eve is another guy. Those between those four guys, we should know what we're going to get from them every single night, and they need to know that we're counting on them to be consistent. Again, I think Josiah will play his way into the kind of shape he needs to be in. He's not there yet, but hopefully he'll come out of this where he's feeling good about his injury and can get back to where he can practice. He needs practice time like all young guys do this time of year.
Rick, obviously you talked about, playing a lot through the pass, but when you have a guy like Olivier who showed tonight that he has an ability to maybe create for some other players, is that something that you may be able to use as a part of your offense for him, his ability to create some shots?
It is, and he's a guy that we think can go in there and, Olivier's a very skilled player. He can make some plays. He's got to slow down. His first instincts would be to get the ball, put his head down and go, but he has the ability to score it, at different levels for you if he's willing to buy into the role we need him to do right now. He made a really nice move right there around the basket where because he's strong, but he's going to have to learn to use it the way he's capable of. Grant Williams went through that his freshman year where he didn't understand how to use his strength, but Olivier's young, and he actually missed the last week. He got kicked in the calf in the Davidson game and missed 3 or 4 days, and again, all those guys need practice, and if he would have been in practice, we probably would have done a little more inside tonight, but because he hasn't had the reps that we want him to have, we didn't do it.
Coach, you mentioned there's still a lot that you need to learn back here.
Where's that coming? Okay.
Hey, in the dark. You mentioned there's still a lot that you need to learn about this team because they've had such a hard time actually getting on the court altogether. What are the biggest things that you feel like you can learn over the course of these first few games of the regular season?
Well, what I do think, and I've said it from the beginning, I do think this is a team that they like each other. The chemistry's good with this group. I think that they have a feel that our older guys have really worked hard at trying to help these younger guys to understand what they're getting ready to face. But they can talk about it, and they've done a good job. The older guys, if you watch this practice, they do their jobs daily, but the younger guys still haven't understood how hard that is to every day be locked in like that, and some of them float through practice, and that's going to be the first thing. But I do think the older guys have taught these younger guys how to practice. They've got to get better at it, which you would expect. And but you know, I think what I've learned about this group is they want to be a good team, and they understand what we want. It's just now a matter of that we get better at our execution. Thank you, Coach. All right, thank you guys. Okay.